Hello and welcome back to Lessons Learned. I'm Sherry and this is Finish It Friday, where you see what I have finished and what you have finished. So thank you for sending in some of your finishes for this week that we're going to share here on this episode of Finish It Friday. And I have a couple of things that I can show you that I finished this week. I did show you on Monday that I had quilted on the long arm this FPP project that I did several months ago. I had a sew along with this foundation paper piecing block, and some of you participated in that and have sent in your finishes of that along the way as well. It's completely finished now. I may have a few basting stitches from the long arm that I need to pull out still. I tried to get most of those, but there might be a few more. But I went ahead and did the amazing facing. I don't think you're going to be able to see it on that black, but it's where you face the quilt. You put your binding on this side and then flip it around where you cannot see it. And I wanted to do that because I just wanted my wonky piano keyboarder to just kind of stand there as on its own without being boxed in with the binding. So I have that, and if you want to know what the amazing facing method is, I have a video on that. I'll put that in the description box below and you can check it out. It might be something you would want to use for some of your wall hangings or even some of your just normal bed-size quilts. You could absolutely do that on if you wanted to. So, Millie's dresses and haberdashery. I'm doing things on that, but not much. I have 2 complete blocks of the hats. That's all I have to show you for this week. These are these little, they're called hat flowers, are quite contrary. So after some mistakes and readjustments and all of that, looks like a hat. Can I put the hat on? It's about life size. I finally got them to come out correctly, and I'm working on these right now. These right here, and the hat band as well. So you can see my hat band. I used kind of a striped fabric on that print, and the pattern calls for 3 different hat flowers, and I'm just using 2. It's just the way my but the fat quarter bundle that I have that I'm using. I think this is the smartest way to do it. There just wasn't another color I wanted to use, so I just did, instead of doing 3 different ones, I did just 2. But anyway, that is all I have done on this. It's just been one of those weeks where I've been working myself to death and not getting anything completed. So we have weeks like that, don't we? I was hoping to have a Millie's dress, at least one, or maybe a row of each done by now. But I think what really slowed me up this week was preparing for Wednesday's video. So I hope you saw that, where I needed a quilt quickly, and I indeed made a quilt in a day. So that is a 2-part. I could not fit it all in to one episode, one video. The first one of this past week on Wednesday was about 20 minutes, and I was getting ready to quilt it. So there's a few more things that happen after that, so I decided to go ahead and divide it into 2. But the good thing about that is I'm already ahead on next week's Wednesday video, and you're going to know what it is. It's part 2 of the Jungle Gal quilt. I'm not going to show you that today. It's really cute, but I'm not going to show it today because then you won't watch the number 2 video. So watch that video next Wednesday and you'll see it all complete, and then I'll probably make it pop in again on next week's Finish Friday. So I think that's what kind of corralled all of my time for this week. That was just a Tuesday project, but it went all day and night on Tuesday, and I don't know, I just feel like I've been spinning my wheels ever since. And it was made me tired too. But you can make a quilt in a day, and not just a quilt top, a quilt. So let's see what you guys have sent in this week to share with us. I have one from Sabrina. Actually, she has several here, several quilts that she's designed herself. There are 4 of them. So the first one I'm going to share with you is called Crown Jewel, and these beautiful jewel tones. Beautiful. That's a name that she has given the pattern. She hasn't completely decided on that yet. And then the backing is a beautiful magenta pink with those, what looks like peacock feather border fabric extra on there. Love the quilting on that as well. This one is called Tulips for Spring. Very cute. Kind of has that chandelier kind of look to it. It would make a really pretty, like a medallion for an entire quilt too, this whole centerpiece here. I love your quilting on that as well. And she has a pinkish, lavenderish pieced backing on that, where you can see the quilting really nicely. And then this one is called Love, Hugs, and Kisses. 4 stars there. In a diamond pattern and kind of a loose Irish chain sort of look with the pink and the green there. Another beautiful quilt pattern that she did on it with some swirls and hearts. Very, very pretty in a neutral background, or backing, I should say. And then her final one is called Starburst, and this is not her design. She said it turned out okay, not perfect. The backing is her favorite part of that. And she bought an interesting backing for it. And she's got kind of a wind-themed quilting on it. She has another company that does her quilting for her. So she had gotten all of these quilts back of mostly her own designs. And Sabrina, you have really wonderful talent. These are amazing quilts. And I love all of them. I hope you guys do too. Michelle, she said, this baby quilt was made from a mystery scrap bag bought at the quilt show in Hampton, Virginia. Nice soft florals there. And some stripes thrown in there, but everything coordinates very well. You just never know what you're going to get in a scrap bag, but you can always take those scraps and make something wonderful out of it, like this. Your borders, you added your little thin black border was a nice accent as well to that. Very good, Michelle. She has some other ones as well. She has a lap size quilt that's a combination of 2.5-inch squares and 6-inch squares. And this was all fabric that was donated. I know Michelle works a lot on donation quilts, so her group gets in a lot of donated fabric, and they whip up quilts to donate right away. And then here's another one that she has. This is a single layer cake and then additional fabric for the borders. It's an Ode Missouri star quilt pattern called Double Sliced Layer Cake. And then on this one she shows the backing as well. And she was asking me to note the backing and the beautiful butterfly motif to match the layer cake. Very good, Michelle. You've been busy and getting those quilts out. Laura finished a very beautiful quilt here with some Cafe Facet fabrics, and it looks like a row quilt with all different sorts of quilting methods on it. We have our pinwheels, stars, tulips, butterflies. The butterflies look like they may be applique. I believe they are. So a nice variety there. And Laura does her own labels. Very good. And she did this following Jean Truelove on YouTube. And it's 61 by 68. She densely quilted it on her Brother PQ 1500 and used a Cafe fat quarter bundle and a cream background from her stash. So Laura is, I frequently chat with her on Facebook, and sometimes she goes live on Facebook and tells you what she's doing for the day and what's on her mind. And she's really been sharpening her free motion quilting on her domestic machine these days and doing a wonderful job of it. Great job, Laura. Becky made the Anne with an E quilt. This is the Riley Blake Anne of Green Gables fabric that we're all familiar with from my project. This was a free pattern on Riley Blake. Anne with an E is what it's called, and it's 9 patches and then big blocks. And she said she made it a bit smaller, and she didn't put the second border on, but she really likes it. Very nice. And I wanted to mention that Monday, I believe it was, I went through all of my scraps of the Anne of Green Gables, and with the fat quarter bundle that I had and the extra fabric that I had purchased, I had enough to kit up one of the free patterns from Riley Blake using this fabric. It's not this one, it's the one that's actually called Anne of Green Gables. If I'm not mistaken, Becky, I think you made that one and showed it to us last week. If it wasn't you, someone did. And then I still have plenty left over for another smaller project. So I'm still working with the Anne of Green Gables fabric, and I love it. Shelly has a Dream Big, I think, is this the Dream Big? Don't they call that Dream Big, or is this different? Well, it's a giant rose. And she loves to do panels, and she said she enjoyed my panel series that I had back this summer, and she's got a lot of dense quilting on her panel quilt here, and she mitered her borders. It looks amazing. Very nice. Teresa sent me a picture of her Quilt As You Go. She sewed along with us on that project, and I love her vintagey feel fabrics that she used. And also on the backing, she has a combination of a light pink and a light blue, it looks like. Let me see what she says. It's in a previous life, I must have really liked 30s reproduction prints because I have a ton of it. I used baby flannel as the backing and scrappy binding. I pinned like crazy and still had problems getting the sashing to line up. Done is better than perfect. That is true, Teresa. And yes, lots and lots of pins were helpful in doing those long sashings, weren't they? Yours turned out great. If your sashings are off a little bit, it's very difficult to tell. And you got a scrappy binding on there. I love this. That's a very cozy quilt. And the flannel on the back too. I have one more from, let's see, it says Annie G, but I think her name is Nettie. She says, I completed this quilt top from a panel I got from Sew. Yeah, it had a bunch of little 6-inch pictures with a larger centerpiece. I still have the large center block set aside for something else, but I use the small ones, as you can see in the image. I don't know what the pattern is, but my inspiration came from a fireman quilt I saw on Tammy Ernest's Longarm channel, which I had snapped a screenshot of and had saved off on my folder. It's just alternating split rail blocks with specific color choices. It came together super fast. The biggest time consumer was trimming out the panel cuts, and it's just a flimsy for now, but I will either donate locally or save it for practice on the long arm later this spring. So she's going to get a Longarmer. Maybe she already has one. I forget. But yeah, that'll be a good one to practice on. But this is very cute with all the little creatures on there, and it seems to be pirate themed, doesn't it? Very cute. Very cute. So the Wednesday video inspired her for that. And then, let's see, what's the other one? Oh, Victoria has finished her Barnstar sampler blocks 17 through 20. And she sent us those here. Congratulations. I was really supposed to work on that this week. Hasn't happened yet, but the week's not over. So it's time to put your quilt together. We're going to see a big Barnstar flimsy here soon from Victoria. I have a suspicion. Good job. Your blocks look great. So that is what I have for this week. Thank you for sending all of your finishes in, whether it be a flimsy, completed quilt, blocks, whatever it might be that you worked on that you got finished this week. Thank you for sending those in. Please pay attention to the requirements that I have in the description box about sending photos in. I appreciate it very much. And just keeping things neutral here on the channel. And I think that's all I have for you today. So we have the weekend to sew through. So get your projects out. Sew a little bit each day. Just 15-30 minutes a day will make a huge dent in your UFOs or your works in progress in a hurry. So thank you for tuning in, and I will see you back here on Monday Quilt Chat. Have a great weekend. Bye.